Anna is assigned to work as a temporary office assistant under David's supervision. From the moment she steps into his office, David barely acknowledges her presence. Instead, he snaps his fingers and says, Anna steps into the sleek, marble-floored lobby of a prestigious financial firm in New York. Her simple outfit contrasts sharply with the power suits around her. The senior manager, David, notices her immediately, his lips curling into a sneer. "You're here for a job?" With that look, "Maybe the janitor's closet needs cleaning," he says, his voice dripping with condescension. The employees nearby chuckle, some whispering, some openly staring at Anna. Anna clenches her fists, her jaw tight, but her eyes steady. "Hey, cleaning girl. Coffee black, no sugar." Anna nods, keeping her calm, and heads to the break room. Throughout the day, David continues to treat her like a personal servant, asking her to tidy up his desk, organize files, and even throw out his trash. Each time, he refers to her as cleaning girl, rather than using her name. The other employees catch on quickly, smirking and whispering as Anna walks by. "Hey, cleaning girl. Can you shine my shoes too?" One man jeers, laughing with his colleagues. Anna clenches her jaw but forces a polite smile, swallowing her frustration. During the lunch break, Anna sits alone in the staff lounge, her eyes focused intently on a thick financial report. The numbers and graphs dance before her eyes, and she scans through each page with practiced precision. Lisa, a junior assistant, notices Anna's intense focus and raises an eyebrow. "Why are you reading that?" she asks, glancing at the complex financial report. "It has nothing to do with your job." Anna simply smiles, closes the report, and places it back in her bag. "Just curious," she says nonchalantly, before standing up and heading back to her duties. Flashback. 2 years ago, Anna stood confidently in a spacious office, dressed in a sharp business suit. She was the CFO of a small but thriving investment firm in Dallas. Her office was filled with framed awards and certificates, evidence of her expertise and dedication. One afternoon, she received a phone call from David, the managing director of a large finance company. He pitched a lucrative investment deal, promising massive returns. Despite Anna's initial hesitation, the deal seemed airtight. She convinced the board to invest, trusting David's reputation. But it was a trap. Within months, David pulled out of the deal, leaving Anna's company in financial ruin. The firm declared bankruptcy, and Anna was forced to close the office, watching as movers took away her awards and certificates, the tangible proof of her once thriving career. Back to the present. Anna stares blankly at her reflection in the coffee machine's stainless steel surface, her jaw clenched. She takes a deep breath, wipes away a single tear, and composes herself. The time for reckoning is coming. David's office is buzzing with activity. Assistants are running back and forth, carrying stacks of documents and setting up the conference room for a big investor meeting. David stands confidently in front of a large screen, rehearsing his financial presentation. Anna, holding a stack of freshly printed documents, enters the room quietly. Her eyes scan the financial charts projected on the screen. Immediately, she notices a glaring error in David's calculations, a discrepancy in the projected returns that could cost the company millions. Anna steps forward cautiously. "Excuse me, David. There's a mistake in the projections. The quarterly returns don't align with the current market data." David turns sharply, eyes narrowed. The entire room falls silent. "You," he scoffs, crossing his arms. "A cleaning lady trying to teach me about financial projections? Maybe you should stick to making coffee instead." The assistants snicker, some exchanging smug glances. Anna's cheeks flush red, but she clenches her fists to steady herself. Despite the humiliation, she maintains her composure, meeting David's arrogant gaze without flinching. David shakes his head dismissively. "Let's move on. We don't have time for distractions." Anna lowers her gaze, biting her lip. As she exits the room, she overhears David rehearsing the same flawed presentation, a ticking time bomb that he's too arrogant to see. In the hallway, Anna takes a deep breath, leaning against the wall. Memories flood back, her standing in her old office, confidently presenting financial reports, her team hanging on her every word. Now, she's just the cleaning lady. Anna straightens up, her eyes steely. "They don't know who they're dealing with," she whispers to herself. As David storms back into his office, furious over Anna's audacity to question him, the tension in the office only thickens. But while everyone is focused on David's outburst, Anna notices something else. Mark sneaking around with a suspicious folder in his hand. David's office is in chaos. Papers are scattered everywhere, assistants are frantically searching through files, and David is barking orders. "Where is it?" he yells, slamming his fist on the desk. That project plan was supposed to be finalized by today. Anna walks by, her eyes scanning the scene. She notices Mark, a fellow employee, hurriedly slipping a folder into his bag and walking away, glancing nervously over his shoulder. Anna narrows her eyes. Something isn't right. Later, in the break room, Anna spots Mark hastily leaving. Curiosity getting the better of her, she sneaks into the small storage room where Mark was just a moment ago. Inside, she finds a USB drive carelessly left behind on the desk. Anna plugs it into a nearby laptop and clicks open a folder labeled Confidential. Inside, she sees the missing project plan, David's entire financial proposal, along with an email draft addressed to a rival firm. Anna's heart races. Mark is planning to sell David's project plan to the competition. Without a second thought, Anna copies the files and sends them to herself as a backup. But instead of confronting Mark or David immediately, she pauses, her gaze hardening. "This isn't the right time," she mutters, closing the laptop and slipping the USB back where she found it. "Let's see how far he's willing to go." The grand conference room is filled with investors, some tapping their pens impatiently, others whispering to each other. David steps onto the stage, forcing a confident smile despite the beads of sweat forming on his forehead. He begins his presentation, projecting the financial plan onto the large screen. The investors lean forward, eyes fixed on the numbers. But as the slides progress, murmurs grow louder. An older investor raises his hand, voice stern. "These projections don't add up. The financial estimates are completely unrealistic." Another investor nods, glaring at David. "Are you trying to swindle us, David? This is amateur work." David's face turns crimson. He glances around the room, his eyes searching for Mark, his supposed financial expert. But Mark is nowhere to be found. "Excuse me for a moment," David mutters, stepping off the stage and frantically pulling out his phone. The line to Mark's number is dead. Behind the glass doors, Anna watches the chaos unfold. Her expression remains calm, eyes cold and calculating. A subtle, almost imperceptible smile tugs at the corners of her lips as she sees David drowning in his own arrogance. David sits slumped in his office chair, tie loosened, hands gripping his forehead. The room is a mess, papers scattered everywhere, a shattered coffee mug on the floor. The echoes of the investor's angry words still linger in his mind. A soft knock at the door. Before David can respond, Anna steps inside, holding a folder. She walks calmly toward his desk and places it down. David lifts his head, eyes bloodshot and desperate. "What's this?" he mutters. Anna opens the folder, revealing a neatly organized set of documents, the financial plan, the missing data, and a series of emails that show Mark's betrayal. Each page is marked with red circles, highlighting discrepancies and falsifications. David's jaw tightens as he flips through the pages. His eyes widen when he sees Mark's name on a signed contract with the rival firm. This can't be," he stammers, throat dry. "How did you get these?" Anna crosses her arms, leaning against the desk. A calm, almost smug smile plays on her lips. "Well, being the cleaning girl has its advantages, don't you think?" David swallows, his gaze shifting from the damning evidence back to Anna. For the first time, he truly looks at her, not as the invisible cleaning girl, but as someone far more formidable. David sits frozen, eyes locked onto Anna as she calmly closes the folder. The weight of her revelation sinks in. She wasn't just some cleaning girl. Anna straightens her posture, her eyes now sharp and unwavering. "I wasn't always a cleaning girl, David," she begins, her voice firm but calm. "Before this, I was the chief financial officer of a small but thriving company." David's brows furrow. "A CFO?" Anna nods, her expression hardening. "Until a certain big corporation crushed us, manipulating deals and stealing clients." David's throat tightens. He knows exactly which company she's referring to, his own. Anna takes a deep breath, leaning forward slightly. "I lost everything, my career, my team, my reputation. But I didn't lose my knowledge." David swallows, eyes dropping to the floor. The guilt is evident. But before he can speak, Anna steps closer, her tone growing colder. I can help you salvage this project, win back the investors, and even save your career, she states. But on one condition. David looks up, desperation mingling with a flicker of hope. What is it? You will acknowledge me, Anna says, her gaze piercing through him. Not as some cleaning girl, but as someone who knows finance better than you think. David takes a shaky breath, his ego wounded, but his need for survival stronger. He nods, forcing out a hoarse, all right. You have a deal. Anna steps back, arms crossed, a satisfied yet unreadable expression on her face. Good. Let's get to work. Anna stands confidently at the front of the conference room, the projection screen behind her displaying the newly revised financial plan. The room is filled with stern-faced investors, their eyes fixed on her. Anna's voice is calm, steady yet firm. As you can see, the previous plan overlooked crucial cash flow projections and underestimated operational costs. If we proceed with the current strategy, we risk significant financial losses. She clicks to the next slide, revealing a comprehensive analysis of the market trends and potential returns. However, she continues, her eyes scanning the room, by reallocating funds to targeted areas and restructuring our revenue streams, we can not only mitigate those risks but also potentially increase our profit margins by 30%. The investors exchange glances, some nodding in approval. David sits at the corner of the room, his jaw clenched, watching Anna as she takes command of the room. Gone is the timid cleaning girl he once dismissed. She now exudes a commanding presence. Anna concludes, her eyes locking with each investor. I'm not asking you to trust me blindly. The numbers speak for themselves. The question is, are you ready to seize this opportunity? Silence hangs in the air. Then, one of the senior investors leans forward, a glimmer of admiration in his eyes. Miss Anna, I'm impressed. You clearly know your stuff. Another investor chimes in. If we follow your plan, I'm in. David lowers his gaze, his face flushed with embarrassment. Meanwhile, Anna remains composed, offering a polite smile, but her eyes burn with quiet victory. David stands at the center of the office floor, his face pale and eyes downcast. The entire staff is gathered around, whispering among themselves, their eyes darting between David and Anna. David clears his throat, his voice slightly trembling. Attention, everyone. I have something to say. The room falls silent. David takes a deep breath and looks directly at Anna, who is standing calmly, her expression unreadable. Anna, he begins, his voice thick with remorse. I owe you a sincere apology. I was wrong to judge you based on your appearance and your position. I was blinded by my own arrogance and failed to see the incredible talent standing right in front of me. He pauses, glancing around at the staff. I called her the cleaning girl. I treated her as if she was less than everyone here. But the truth is, she's proven herself to be smarter, more capable, and more resilient than most of us. The staff members exchange awkward glances. Some nod in agreement, while others avoid Anna's gaze, ashamed of their own behavior. David turns back to Anna, his eyes earnest. Anna, I am truly sorry for underestimating you and for all the disrespect I showed you. Anna meets his gaze, her eyes calm yet piercing. She steps forward, her voice steady but firm. The worth of a person, she says, her words echoing through the room, is not determined by the clothes they wear or the job title they hold. It's measured by what they can do, by their character and their actions. David lowers his head, his shoulders slumping, as if the weight of his own mistakes is finally pressing down on him. Anna takes a deep breath, her face softening slightly. Apology accepted, she says, then turns to walk away, leaving David standing there, surrounded by the silence of his own shame. As the applause dies down and the crowd disperses, David watches Anna walk away with her head held high. The realization of what he's lost begins to sink in, and a knot tightens in his chest. He knows he has one last chance to make things right. The next day, David stands in his office, looking out of the glass window, the city skyline reflecting his weary expression. His mind is still reeling from the events of the past few days. Anna steps into the office, her posture relaxed but resolute. David turns around, forcing a small, awkward smile. Anna, I've made a decision, he says, taking a deep breath. I want to promote you to Chief Financial Officer. You deserve it more than anyone. Anna shakes her head gently, a calm but firm expression on her face. Thank you, David. But I have to decline. David's brows furrow in confusion. Decline? Why? Anna takes a step forward, her eyes soft but unwavering. Because I came here to prove something to myself, that I could rise again after losing everything. And now I have. David's jaw tightens. You're really going to leave? Anna nods, a warm, genuine smile spreading across her face. Yes. It's time for me to go back to Texas and rebuild what I lost. My family's business may have crumbled, but I haven't. And now, I have the confidence to start again. David swallows, his throat tight. But you could do so much more here. You could. Anna raises a hand, cutting him off gently. David, you once asked me why someone like me would even think they belonged here, she says, her gaze piercing. I don't need to prove myself to you, or to anyone else. Not anymore. She extends her hand. Thank you for the opportunity, David. And good luck. David takes her hand, his grip lingering as if trying to hold on to the one person who saw through him. Anna, he says softly, I was wrong about you. About everything. Anna just smiles, a look of calm self-assurance in her eyes. I know. She turns and walks away, her heels clicking against the marble floor, each step echoing her newfound freedom. David watches as Anna exits the office building, her silhouette disappearing into the bustling streets. He sighs, a heavy weight settling on his shoulders. Meanwhile, back in Texas, Anna steps out of her car and gazes at the newly renovated building, the place where it all began. The sign now reads, Anna Financial Consulting. People gather around, congratulating her with warm smiles and words of encouragement. You did it, Anna. We're so proud of you, an old friend exclaims. Anna stands at the entrance, taking a deep breath as the wind brushes through her hair. She closes her eyes, feeling the weight of her journey lift. Opening her eyes, she smiles, her gaze firm and resolute. This is her moment, her new beginning. Anna stands on the balcony of her office, overlooking the bustling street below. The city lights sparkle, mirroring the newfound glow in her eyes. She takes a deep breath, feeling the cool breeze against her skin. A soft smile appears as she reflects on her journey, from being underestimated and belittled to reclaiming her worth and rising above. True strength doesn't come from a title or a suit. It comes from within. Anna steps back inside, closing the door behind her. If this story made you think, hit subscribe for more life-changing lessons.